Ohio. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Broulis Beat Report. I am your host, Nick Broulis. It's probably been well over a year since the last time you saw me on camera. Certainly glad to have you aboard here on the Broulis Beat Report. And as always, the Broulis Beat Report is brought to you by Cafe 80s. If you enjoy 80s music, you will definitely want to check out Cafe 80s. You can visit their website, thecafe80s.net. Feel free to download that Bands in Town app and just search Cafe 80s, or get on Facebook, type in the Cafe 80s, and follow them. That way you can find out where they're playing and you get out there and check them out. Promise you, you will not be disappointed. Well, it's been quite some time since I've been on here. A lot has happened in the sports world, but I'm not going to go all the way back since the last time you saw me. Before I get into everything, you can follow me on Twitter at Broulis Report. That's B as in boy, R-O-U-L-I-S. And I have a lot of things that I want to talk about, so this might be one of the more lengthy Broulis Beat Reports that you will watch, or, in some cases I found out a couple years ago, some people are actually capable of actually listening to me through their car stereo system. So anyways, I got Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NFL that I want to talk to you about. Let's start out with Major League Baseball. Commissioner Rob Manfred is so adamant about increasing the pace of play. He wants baseball to go faster. Well, that's fine and dandy. The problem is, baseball's never been known to be a fast-paced game. He's trying to get it up to close to the speed of maybe the NBA and the NFL in terms of the pace of play, action, all that stuff. But Major League Baseball is not the NBA, and it's certainly not the NFL, where a play is ran once every 10 to 12 seconds. So, one thing that he has already done, which he actually decreased it even further this year, is the mound visits. Okay, that's fine and dandy. He went from 6 to 5. Now, one rule that he's trying to impose that I do not want to see is that when you bring in a reliever, they have to face a minimum of 3 batters. I'm not in favor of that because that completely changes a lot of the strategy when it comes to matching up the pitcher with the hitter, things like that, righty-lefty matchup. You baseball fans out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The one thing that I will say that I think would help more than what he's trying to do in terms of rule changes, get a salary cap. Problem is, that's never going to happen because the Baseball Players Union is just way too powerful and they're never going to stand for that. All these players, Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, Nolan Arenado, the list goes on. These guys are all signing these big, huge, long-term contracts, especially Harper. How can I forget Mike Trout? She's almighty. Anyways, so here's my problem. When you got these cities like Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, and LA all being able to pay these players these enormous salaries that most times do not end up working out for the organization, and then once they realize that, they realize they screwed up, they can buy their way out of it. Whereas teams like Milwaukee, Cleveland, Detroit, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, let's go with Texas, let's go with Seattle. You guys know the mid-level markets. They can't do that. They got to be smarter with their signings, period. They have to. So if Rob Manfred really wants to get baseball's popularity up, it would certainly help if some of these teams were able to afford, or I should say, if some of these teams' owners would be more inclined to keep these superstar athletes that they get. I mean, Cleveland right now, they already know that they're not going to be able to sign Francisco Lindor. And if they do, the whole world would be shocked. But if you could create a balance in terms of the superstar athletes in baseball being on multiple teams, it'd be great. It would be great. And attendance would be better off overall the entire landscape of baseball, period. So I think salary cap would definitely help. So that's my big opinion on the pace of play and all that fun stuff. Now let's talk about the Cleveland Indians. Okay, my first worry is, and I wrote about this a couple weeks ago, I don't know where the heck the runs are going to come. You lost Michael Brantley, Encarnacion, Alonso, just a whole bunch of players. So Francisco Lindor is out, rumored, news came out today or yesterday, he's going to be out about 3 more weeks, okay? So now you're putting more pressure on Jose Ramirez and Carlos Santana. Well, Jose Ramirez is too busy trying to pull the ball, as is Carlos Santana, which is nothing new there, all right? So if you're the Indians, you are trying to win these games by a score of 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, so on and so forth, which puts more pressure on your pitching to hold a team under 4 runs or less. And that's asking a lot out of any team. Now, granted, this is a good part of the Indians, is that they have one of the best starting rotations, and not just the AL Central, not just the American League, but in baseball in general. One of the best rotations. I'd say probably top 5, no worse than top 10. All right? So then you have the bullpen, which, they're all kind of, we got Brad Hand and Adam Simber. They came over from San Diego last year. And we got a couple of the guys that are still here. So we're kind of, still feeling out the bullpen. How well are they going to be? So the entire pitching staff in general has to pitch absolutely outstanding in hopes that the Indians offense will try and score at least 3 to 4 runs a game and hopefully win them, and then wait until Jose Ramirez and Carlos Santana can help out with run support. Hopefully Jake Bauers steps up a little bit. All this while waiting for Francisco Lindor to get back, and then you hope that he can step right in and do the best and start this year where he left off last year. That's what you're hoping. So that's what I got with the Indians. Now let's move on to the NBA. Now I know it's been a while, but I wanted to touch on the LeBron James situation. Of course, last year he decided he was going to go to LA, and everybody that, has some form of intelligence knows he did not go to LA for basketball reasons. He just didn't. At least mostly he didn't, okay? He is trying to get into the movie, not trying, he's trying to further his career in the entertainment field, okay? Now, here's my thing. Magic Johnson, how big of an idiot are you? Why do you think LeBron James can take Lonzo Ball, Rajon Rondo, JaVale McGee, and Josh Hart, Kyle Kuzma, and everybody else to the NBA Finals through the Western Conference? There's only a few of those people that can shoot the 3 ball relatively well. And the people that, I forgot Lance Stevenson. How dare I forget Lance Stevenson? Why do you think LeBron James could do anything with a group of people like that? I don't even think, and I know it's going to upset some people, I don't even think Jordan could take the Lakers for the team that they are and get them to the NBA Finals through the Western Conference. Now, if you take the Lakers' current team right now and put them in the East, I think they'd have a chance to not only get in the playoffs, maybe make some noise in the first round, but I still don't know if they'd get to the finals through the Eastern Conference. So, and naturally I wasn't happy that LeBron went to LA, but it is what it is. Cavs fans got their championship in 2016. I, for one, am forever thankful for that. But, it was just, I don't get it. As for Kyrie Irving, do not feel sorry for you whatsoever. You are the one that asked to be traded out of Cleveland. You end up in Boston. They actually play better without you on the court than what they do with you. That's because you're a ball hog, okay? Number 2, I, for one, see Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, I should say. I see them teaming up after the season is over with. maybe with the Knicks, the Nets. I'm not exactly sure, but that's where I'm leaning. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. If LeBron and Kyrie were still in Cleveland, we right now, on this day, April the 2nd, 2019, we would be talking about what seed are the Cavs trying to secure. And who are they gonna who's their biggest threat in the East. But it is what it is. Now, let me talk about Colin Sexton and the current Cavs team. I like Larry Nance. I like Cedi Osman. I also like Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench. Great. He's a good scorer. I think he can stick around because he's young enough. But what's up with everybody beating up on Colin Sexton? I mean, I get it, the first half of the season he wasn't doing the best, but he has gotten better. He really has. He's shooting, I believe, 40% from three-point range, which he was not thought to be a good three-point shooter coming out of the University of Alabama. So I think that he deserves a little bit more credit than what he is getting. Now, also, I think that the Cavs, they're not going to do it, but I would like to see Larry Drew return, but it's just not going to happen. Who's going to come in as the new head coach? I don't know. All I can say is this. I'm really hoping that the Cavs get a 1 through 4. That's all I'm asking for. If you can get 1 through 4 in terms of the draft picks, I'd be happy. If you get the first overall pick, it's obviously you're going to go with Zion Williamson out of Duke. If not, I wouldn't mind seeing the Cavs go after John Morant, the point guard out of Murray State. I think putting him in the backcourt with Sexton would cause a lot of problems for any team. And then I know they have another draft pick. I believe it's in the second round. So, you can do what you want with that. But next year, not a playoff year again for the Cavs. But after that, we'll see how they do next season, see where they go with that. Now, let's get to the National Football League. All right? Now, you would have to be living underneath a rock for the last 2 months not to know about the Odell Beckham Jr. trade to the Cleveland Browns. Now, a lot of people naturally want my opinion on this, so here you go. At first, I'm thinking, okay, Baker Mayfield, great rookie season. Likes to spread the ball around. He's more of a contributing quarterback, if you will. He likes to throw it. He likes to get multiple people involved. He doesn't just look for, one guy, so to speak. All right? And then I heard how, the Giants general manager, I think it's Dave Gettleman, he wanted an offer that just would absolutely knock his socks off. Like, all right, 2 number ones, not too sure about that. Well, then I found out and heard that they want Duke Johnson in the deal. I was like, nah, I don't think so. No way. So I'm sitting here at the computer. Twitter's going nuts. I'm like, what in the heck can possibly be going on? Look, see a couple of the NFL writers tweet out, Odell Beckham Jr. acquired by the Browns. This is not a joke. Run right to the TV, turn on NFL Network. Sure enough, it's real. Browns give up. Now let's just put this whole trade package deal in one piece, okay? This is what really happened. The Browns sent off their 17th overall pick and Peppers, along with Kevin Zeitler, to the Giants for Olivier Vernon and Odell Beckham Jr. That was the main deal right there, all right? So, I'm like, you know what? All right, I think we might have something here. I like Peppers, don't get me wrong, but as, who was it? I think it was John Dorsey, it might have been the one that said, I'm not going to let a safety stop me from getting one of the top players in the NFL. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, Beckham, he's such a head case, da-da-da. You know what? There's been a lot of bad football up in Cleveland since 1999. And I get there's going to be times when Odell might be like throwing a temper tantrum or something like that. I'm willing to deal with that. But I will also tell you this. coming in here, he has a good friendship with Baker Mayfield. He's best friends with Jarvis Landry. I think it's going to be a good situation for him. The Browns get him on a contract, which he's going to want a little bit more money, obviously. And it looks to be a winning situation. I mean, the Browns went 7-8-1 last year. Adding a caliber player like Odell Beckham Jr. to this offense is almost like a fantasy football team on offense, is what I keep telling people. So, I'm fine with the trade. I will say this. I do think Duke Johnson, due to the Kareem Hunt signing, will end up getting traded. And I don't doubt if the Browns actually draft a running back at some point in the 2019 NFL Draft later on this month. So that's my opinion with that. So, congratulations, John Dorsey. You have someone that pretty much trusts in every move that you do until you start proving me wrong consistently. Now, the schedule. It will be coming out, I'd say, within the next 2 weeks. I'm looking forward to it. I said the Browns will have, I'd say, 6 primetime games. I don't know how many Monday night games that they'll have. I don't know how many Sunday night games. Every team gets a Thursday night game, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because some of the really bad teams out there, you have no reason to be on Thursday Night Football. You have no reason to be on any sort of primetime slot. And I even said that when the Browns were really bad. If you're not playing that well, you do not deserve to be on primetime, period. You get mostly 1 o'clock games. You might get a 4:05 game here and there, but guess what? You are playing at the early portion of the schedule in terms of the times. Now, I don't know if any of you heard of this. I don't even know if any of you have bothered even watching this yet, but the, what do they call it? The Alliance of American Football. Wow, what a shocker. They're pretty much done. But I think we all need to face it here in this country. And this even goes to the XFL going to be coming into play next year. The fans love football, do not get me wrong. But there's only one NFL. There's only one NFL, okay? We're not going to watch football once the Super Bowl is over with, at least not most people. And the players aren't even that great. So, I don't even think the XFL is going to last, personally, when it debuts, or should I say re-debuts, again next year. So, I think everybody that's trying to start up a new football league, give it up, go into another business, do something else. I don't know. There's only one NFL. We only want to watch the NFL for the most part. Our secondary football area is college football, and that's just how it is in the United States of America. Well, glad I got all that out there. I'm sure there's things that I forgot to bring up that I want to let you know about, but we'll save that for next week on a new edition of the Broulis Beat Report. But I do appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I appreciate you watching the Broulis Beat Report. See you next week.